Order mama. Or bro. I ran out of us. Ran out of luck. KO. Enough is enough. Go. Go shot and watch everyone's got him. Go do 10 shots out. But Chris Will play for the Lakers. I gotta stick it in like a ladder. What is up, YouTube? Back here again with another sports related video. This time we are back into some NBA talk. The NBA season already has been pretty crazy, but some of these moves are pretty jaw dropping, and I want to get into them. We got Luka Doncic, head of the Lakers. We talked about that in our video yesterday, but we're going to dive deeper into that. And then we also just about an hour ago got De'Aaron Fox headed to San Antonio to play with that boy Wham. And then we got Zach LaVine headed back to Sacramento to reunite with apparently his best buddy, DeMar DeRozan. Let's get into it. I'm excited for today's video. Before we continue on, remember to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that noti bell so you know when our next videos are coming out. Love you, boys. Here we go. All right, boys. We're going to dive straight into it. I am really excited to make this video. As yesterday, I dropped that little 4-minute video of Luka going to the Lakers. That was a pure, raw reaction to what happened. I was just getting home from work yesterday, and I find out Luka Doncic is not only headed to the Los Angeles Lakers, but Anthony Davis is on his way to Dallas. The trade specifications: Luka Doncic heading to the Lakers with Maxi Kleber and Markieff Morris for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick. So first, we're going to dive into the Lakers side of this trade. The Lakers, they have now found their answer for after LeBron and what the team is going to look like for the next 5 to 10 years, depending on how good Luka's longevity ends up holding up. This is a great trade for the Lakers. I've seen a lot of people posting about who won this trade. It's pretty clear who won this trade. The Lakers are getting a 25-year-old perennial All-NBA player. Luka Doncic, I believe, has been in the NBA for 7 years now, and he has made first-team All-NBA 5 times. He's a 5-time All-Star, of course, with those 5-time first-team All-NBAs. He's a career 28-8 guy, and he just went to the NBA Finals being the best player on his team. Now, the specifications of why he was traded are kind of everywhere. It's his bad conditioning. It's his bad defense. It's his lack of commitment to the team. It's a mixture of everything. And what it boils down to, I believe, is the GM in Dallas and Luka didn't get along, clearly, because there had to have been something going on behind the basketball court in order to make this substantial of a move. You are trading a top 3 current player in the NBA. Whether you want to put Shea in there, it's Jokic, Giannis, Luka, Shea, you got Tatum, you got Durant, LeBron's still playing at a top level. He's in that echelon of top 5 players. Either way you look at it, okay? He just made the finals, and man, what a crazy move this is. Los Angeles in the 70s, they had their Kareem. They made that big splash trade to go and get Kareem Abdul-Jabbar from a Bucks team who was struggling. So that already in itself is one of the crazier trades of all time, with a Kareem who, without living in it, we really can't tell how great his dominance and how great his impact was. But Kareem, they banned dunking in college because of how great this man was. He won multiple MVPs while in Milwaukee. He gets traded to Los Angeles. They now have a top 3 player in the league. Where do they go from that? They go on to getting Magic Johnson, who ended up having a large part of why the NBA blew up in the late 80s, early 90s, why the jump of the NBA, him and Larry Bird. Then they move on. There was that rough area in the mid 90s where the Lakers were relatively irrelevant. Magic had his health problems. James Worthy was getting old. They move into Shaquille O'Neal. Then they draft this young kid out of Lower Merion High School, trade for him, draft day. He was drafted number 13 overall. I think we all know who we're talking about. Kobe Bean Bryant. So they move on from Kareem to then having Magic, to then having Shaq, and then bringing up Kobe. The Lakers just always find a way to have that top piece. Don't get me started on how, top piece, didn't mean to say that. They always find out how to get that superstar player in the building in LA. They have a way to just get guys in. I mean, this is a perfect example. What type of trade? They get 1 first-round pick for Luka Doncic. And you think if they would have shopped around Luka, they would have just let the league know, hey, we're not really feeling Luka over here. We want to move on. It is time for us to move on. We're willing to part our ways. What are you guys willing to offer? I am telling you, they would have gotten a king's ransom. You're telling me if they didn't tell, as we're going to get in this trade, San Antonio just moved pieces for De'Aaron Fox. You're telling me San Antonio wouldn't have put all the chips on the table to pair up Luka Doncic and Victor Wembanyama. I mean, I understand same state, but the way that this trade was just done in the shadows, no one was told anything about it. There were no reports. There were no shopping of Luka Doncic. It was just, what are you willing to give us, Rob? Anthony Davis? All right. Max Christie? Just give one first to make it look like we're not completely idiotic. And they got the 29 first from the Lakers, which realistically is not going to have much value. I'm sorry, Mavs fans. It is not going to have much value. Luka's going to be good by this, or the Lakers should be good by this point. Luka's obviously a great player. I don't know why I'm saying he's going to be good. He's not no rising star, but the Lakers are going to be good in 2029. So you set yourself up with a 31, a month away from being 32-year-old Anthony Davis, who already has his problem staying healthy. Yes, these past 2 seasons, he has been more consistent with his playing time and his load management. But Anthony Davis not only is inconsistent with his health, he is inconsistent on the court. I watched I'll say 3 to 4 hours of podcasts today, just diving into this, getting as much information as I could before I came back onto this video, because last night I felt a little unprepared. I had just seen the trade on my phone. Everyone was freaking out. I was calling people. I was letting everybody know. And here we are. So Anthony Davis, not only is he inconsistent with his health, he's inconsistent on the court. He can look like a top 5 player some nights. And then some nights he just looks out of the loop. He looks like he's just not very interested. He's not that engaged. And we've seen that over his Lakers tenure. In the Nuggets series, the man, Jokic showed him what a real dominant, top of the league big man is. That series I will never forget, that series versus Jokic in the Western Conference Finals that year that the Nuggets ended up winning. AD got his shit mopped off the court, boy. God, he was getting cooked on offense. He looked like a just way worse player. And I get we're talking about Jokic, okay? We've never seen anything like Jokic. So don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to slight on AD here, comparing him to Jokic. But there is levels to it. And AD being 32, he's gotten slower. Like, he's still a very athletic player. He's a top 2 to 3 defensive player in the league, when healthy, when engaged. But he's getting older. And I'm seeing a lot of people, Charles Barkley has been talking on TV. People have been saying things about how this impacts the Mavs for now. And does it give them better defense in the front court? Sure. But you have Derek Lively, a shot blocking center. You have PJ Washington, who can guard pretty much all positions. You don't want him on Wemby, but he's guarding 1 through 5. Don't you just love it when your phone runs out of storage right as the video's going? Sorry, boys. Storage ran out on the phone. I've been having to micromanage deleting videos, freaking making these YouTube videos. It's okay. Back to what we were saying. The Mavericks, they do not have a better chance to compete this season. They do not have a better chance to compete in 3 years. They don't have a better chance to compete in 10 years. That is what getting rid of a generational talent does to you. And this may go down as one of the craziest trades and worst trades in NBA history. Now, we'll see how LeBron and Luka end up pairing and how that dynamic works. I'm sure the Lakers aren't focused on winning a championship in this LeBron window anymore. That is clear by adding another ball-dominant forward/guard type of player into the scene. But they are now set for the next 5 to 10 years. And the Mavericks, if they don't win a championship if they don't play well this season, forget a championship. If they don't go far this season, there's going to be riots in Dallas. Moving on to our next big trade of the past 2 days, we've got De'Aaron Fox heading to San Antonio to pair up with the one and only alien, the Area 51 born Victor Wembanyama. D Fox and Wemby? In this trade, there's 3 teams included, obviously Sacramento and San Antonio. But in this trade, San Antonio is also getting, Sacramento is getting Zach LaVine. They're bringing in Zach LaVine to pair him back up with his best buddy, DeMar DeRozan. They're back together. The floor the ceiling in Sacramento is just so low, and that's why I'm laughing about it. Like, just, we've seen DeMar and we've seen the white center combo DeMar and Zach LaVine not work out already. So why are we trying it again? It's screaming we're going to be good for a part of the season. Everyone's gonna be like, oh my god, Zuckerman's back, oh my god, and then they're gonna suck again, and they're gonna be back in the play-in, and everyone's gonna be like, wow, it turns out it isn't working out. What could have happened? Well, we've seen it happen before in Chicago. All right, so I don't. In terms of this move for the Spurs, they get De'Aaron Fox, a debatably top 5 point guard in the league, depending on who you ask. This is a great move. The NBA community was starting to wonder. If you're wondering why I keep looking over here, I'm sorry. I just keep looking at my MacBook because I'm looking at standings. I'm looking at the stats of these players. Anyways, I'm wondering if this team is going to make a playoff push. Now, you're adding De'Aaron Fox, a 25 point per night scorer, alongside Wemby, who already draws so much attention. I am curious to see. This is why I've been so excited to see Wemby get an all-star level teammate, because the attention that he's going to attract, not only in the paint, but on the perimeter, in the mid-range, how is that going to affect a player who's already great at getting baskets when the attention's all on him? De'Aaron just played for a team for the last however many years of his career where all the focus was, obviously they had Sabonis, but all the focus was on Fox. So I'm curious to see, with having a Wemby on the same court, is he just going to turn into a 30-point? Is it just 30 points a game now for Fox? I'm curious to see what that looks like. They didn't have to give up any key rotational players. They did end up sending 3 first-round picks, which it's De'Aaron Fox. You're bound to send some sort of package. You would have thought that'd be the same with Dallas, but fuck it. Anthony Davis. And like I said, in terms of Sacramento's future, I mean, it's going to be pretty mid. At least they have Charlotte's first-round pick for this year. That was one of the picks they got in this trade for Fox, which most likely will be a lottery pick, if not a top 5 one. So they're going to have a top player from this year's draft, which seems like it's going to be better than last year's. The Bulls end up getting back just some role players: Trey Jones, Zach Collins, and Kevin Huerter. So they're in full tank mode. I don't know if they have their first round pick this year or not. Who knows where anyone's first round pick is anymore? I mean, this team's got this one, that team's got this one. It's just they're getting 3 firsts, 3 seconds for Fox. The Kings are, and they're bringing Zach LaVine to pair up back. They wanted to stay competitive. They've looked better since having Doug Christie there, so they're going to try and make a push this year, at least for the plan. We'll see how that ends up panning out. But that is the video for today, boys. Wanted to really dive into the implications of this trade, not only for Luka and the Lakers, but Dallas with AD, Kyrie, and them boys. And now De'Aaron Fox and the Spurs, Zach LaVine and the Kings. This is a great start to the last week before the NBA trade deadline. I'm sure I'm going to be back here sooner than later because Jimmy still hasn't been moved yet. There's a few players, like the Bucks haven't made a move yet. There's a bunch of teams that need to make moves, and I'm going to be here to talk about it with you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to like, subscribe, hit that noti bell so you know when we're back on here. Love you, boys. Peace.